Oh my God, guys. Kenny Omega is the new Impact World Heavyweight Champion, as well as still the AEW Champion, a title for title match. Most of us knew it was going to happen, but in the fashion that it did was just sick, just absolutely sick. Multiple V triggers to Rich Swan to the point where he just couldn't defend himself. He went for two different Phoenix Splash, missed both Phoenix Splash, V trigger after V trigger after V trigger, and then after multiple times of Rich Swan getting out, escaping from the one-winged angel, he got caught in the one-winged angel, and now you have a new Impact World Heavyweight Champion. What does this mean for Impact now that Kenny Omega is bringing the Impact World title to AEW? I mean, my goodness, what does this mean? Does this mean we're going to see Kenny on Impact more often? Does this mean that Kenny is going to actually defend the belt of the Impact World title on certain pay per views, certain shows? I mean, or is he just going to hold the belt for and barely defend it like how he does with a AAA title? You really got to start to wonder, what does this really mean? And especially considering the fact that on AEW itself, there's barely been that much mentioning of this match in AEW. Impact themselves have been the one mentioning this match over and over and over again leading up to the night, but AEW have not mentioned about this match. And I mean, this was just absolutely insane, guys. This match was just absolutely insane. Oh my God. I mean, both guys gave it their all. Rich Swan really had me thinking that he was going to pull it off. I knew that it was predictable for Kenny to win. Most of us knew, for the most part, that Kenny was definitely going to win. But Rich Swan gave it everything he could. He hit a Phoenix Splash outside the ring with Kenny early in the match. He hit he took a lot of he took a lot of beat downs in this match. Kenny constantly pounding on Rich countless times this match. He even slapped Rich the same way he did at the conference that they had with each other. Rich managed to slap him back. I mean, this was just as back and forth as you can get. Rich Swan managed to hit his managed to hit his cutter on Kenny, but it wasn't enough to put Kenny away. The first time he tried to go for the cutter, Kenny actually pushes Ryan Hebner in the way, and he actually hits Ryan with the cutter. Then Ari Edwards, she tries to come in the ring, the AEW ref, because they had two refs for this match, the Impact ref Ryan and the AEW ref Ari. She gets in the ring. Kenny tries to hit Rich with a steel chair, but she takes the steel chair away from Kenny. Then Rich hits Kenny with the cutter. Kenny gets out. Kenny just went for so many moves that I can't even name all of them on Rich Swann in this match. It was just absolutely insane. And at the end of it, after just going back and forth, 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 and after so many just stiff V triggers that was taking the Rich Swan, Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega is now a triple champion. And you really got to start to help to wonder, is this really going to officially start the war between AEW and Impact? I know that this is a partnership, but you got to start to wonder, is Impact going to finally make an invasion in AEW? Are we going to see Rich Swann invade AEW to try to bring the Impact title back home? There are even some people who think that Moose may be the guy to beat Kenny and bring the title back home to Impact at Bound for Glory. But I don't know if they're going to go that far, and that as far as long term booking. It's really interesting to see if it's going to be Rich or someone else, maybe Moose or somebody that's going to actually beat Kenny and bring it back to Impact, because the war has got to start now. I mean, we've seen Matt Hardy, Private Party, um, we've seen these guys invade Impact, but we have yet to see anybody from Impact aside from the Good Brothers, who's been going back and forth from Impact and AEW because of their relationship with Kenny with the Bullet Club. We've seen them as the only one that's consistently come back and forth. We have not seen anybody else really invade Impact in this sort of instance. So you really got to hope to wonder for everybody else, if this is the war is going to truly begin now, is the war going to really start? Because at this point, you've lost your top title to an AEW star. You've lost your top championship to AEW star, someone who may not even come and defend the belt with Impact that often. He'll probably defend it every so often, but it won't be that much. Pretty much the same way how he's doing with the AAA title. So you really got to start off to wonder if the war is going to really start Impact side, because for this whole entire feud, for this whole entire build-up, it's only been Impact that promoted it. AEW was not really promoting the match, and so you got to start to hope to wonder, because you saw Tony and Jerry Lynn with a smile on their face when Kenny won the belt. You saw Don Callis, of course, super happy. Good brother, super happy. But you saw Scott D'Amore clapping his hands, but he wasn't happy. And Rich actually came out with Eddie Edwards, and he came out on his side with Willie Mack, and they were not happy that Rich didn't get the job done. Everybody was counting on Rich to get the job done. Even Moose this past week on Impact told him that if he didn't win the match, he would have to deal with the consequences. Sammy Collins said he better win this match. Everybody was expecting to win the match, and it didn't happen. So you got to hope to wonder what's going to happen with Rich when Impact airs this Thursday. And on top of that, we've seen the return of Taylor Wilde after a really, really good match, amazing match for the Knockouts Championship between Deonna Purrazzo and Tennille Dashwood. Man, that match was just insane. I mean, what a night this was, guys. But I want to come on here and mainly focus on the main event, but I do want to briefly touch on everything else real quickly. Deonna Purrazzo and Tennille Dashwood had a really amazing match for the Knockouts Championship, which Deonna retained back and forth between these two. Uh, Many points in the match, Tennille actually had me thinking she was going to win. She was at the merge of winning the belt until she got screwed by Susan and Kimberly. And, Caleb tried to stop it, but he ended up getting beat up. And ultimately, it led to eventually Deonna winning and retaining the Knockouts Championship. And then they all attacked Neil Dashwood until Taylor Wilde came out to save her. And Taylor Wilde has returned back to Impact, one of the first Knockouts Tag Champions, uh, as the inaugural Knockouts Tag Champion. So that was a really interesting thing to see, especially given the fact that Deonna has pretty much beating all challengers. We've seen 3 title changes tonight with the Kenny bringing the Impact title to AEW. We also saw Josh Alexander win the X Division Championship from TJP and Ace Austin in an amazing triple threat match. We've seen that to actually kick off the show. We've seen um we also seen we also seen another title change with the Knockouts tag belts, as Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellie, who popped up on Impact this past Thursday as a replacement for Jazz now that she's retired. She did come out during the match with them and watched on ringside. Rachel Ellie and Jordan Grace managed to win the Impact tag belts in a really good match at one point, where it looked like Tasha Stills was going for some type of cutter, where she hit it on Rachel Elliott outside the ring. It was kind of sick how it happened, but ultimately, Jordan Grayson, Rachel Elliott are the new Impact tag champions as they defeated Fire and Flavor. That was a really decent match as well. You saw Finjuice retain the Impact tag belt against the Good Brothers via cradle pin roll up. And, that was a really decent match as well. You saw Matt Cardona, who looked like he got legitimately injured against Brian Myers, and Brian actually took it to his advantage and hit him with a lariat to win the match against Macedonia. If he is injured, because it looks like he's Jimmy injured, you can only feel bad for him, especially when he hasn't even been in Impact this for that long and he's already hurt. It was a pretty brutal way it happened in the match, how he injured himself, and that was pretty sad, pretty hard to see. We've seen an incredible last man standing match with Sami Callihan and Tracy Miguel, which Tracy Miguel managed to win. Just so much that took place in that match, so many crazy moments, you know, with Sammy slinging chairs at Tracy Miguel, hitting a pile driver on Tracy through the table, but it didn't break, but the back pieces of the table broke. I mean, he literally tried to throw the steps on Trey, but Trey managed to get out. Trey hit him with a cutter through the table to win the match. But there was just multiple spots in this match that was just absolutely insane, just as you would expect it to be in any Sammy match. These guys, this feud right here, I was expecting a lot of it, and that's exactly what we got. So, what a night! I think I pretty much just quickly went over every match, even the Violent by Design match. You saw we saw Morrissey. I believe I'm probably not pronouncing his name right, but he was formerly known as Big Cass, and then XL, and every other name he used after that. We saw him make his debut in Impact as Eric Young's replacement because Eric Young got injured during the last Impact episode. We saw him as Eric Young replacement, and he looked really good. It's great to see he's in better shape. It's great to see he's in a better place. It's great to see that he's in good health now. He just looked really good, man. I mean, what a night this was, guys. Kenny's the new AEW. He's the new Impact World Heavyweight Champion. Same time, retained the AEW championship. He's taking all the belts. He's bringing it to AEW. You really got to start to wonder now if Impact is going to strike back. And you really got to start to wonder now if Rich or someone else, Moose, somebody, they're going to be able to take that belt from Kenny and bring it back home to Impact Wrestling. What a night, guys. That's pretty much it. Sign off for Master Flex. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. What a night.